Louis Booth asked me to turn his brother gay. He offered me $1 million if I could pull it off. His brother, he looks cold and distant, but he was actually pretty easy to win over. I barely did anything, and he bent himself into a pretzel. Later, I accidentally overheard the two of them talking. Bro, haven't you sealed the deal with your sister-in-law yet? My performance was pretty good, right? It was pretty good. So, bro, about that thing you promised me. As soon as your sister-in-law marries into the family, I'll set it up immediately. A second later, I got a text from Louis. Another $1 million to marry my brother. By the way, he's into maid play. My roommate, Louis Booth, is ridiculously rich. Like, his family owns a mine rich. Louis is also incredibly generous. He gave me a watch for my birthday that cost 5 figures. More than my living expenses for a whole year. You can't give me something this expensive. I can't accept it. After all, for his birthday, I'd only given him something that cost less than $100. Louis clicked his tongue. Stop making a big deal out of it. Just take it. Okay, fine. I turned around and sold the watch, and just like that, a bunch of zeros appeared in my bank account. I did it secretly, hiding it from him. If he found out, I'd be toast. But I really needed the money. My mom is sick and needs expensive surgery, and my family has been drowning in debt for years. I have to work 2 part-time jobs just to scrape by. But eventually, Louis found out anyway. He walked over to my bed and looked down at me. Are you that desperate for money? I felt so guilty. I lowered my head, too scared to look at him. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. As soon as I get paid, I'll buy it back and return it to you. Okay? Louis frowned. Annoyed. How much could it be? Forget it. You think I'm that petty? He trailed off, his eyes lighting up as they scanned me up and down. I had just gotten out of the shower and was in my pajamas. My hair still wet. Drops of water trickled down the back of my neck and under my collar. Louis's mouth worked faster than his brain. How is your skin so fair? What kind of skincare products do you use? I blinked, confused for a couple of seconds. I don't use anything. I've just always been like this. I'm the type who doesn't tan. I'm paler than most guys, but is it really that noticeable? Realizing his mistake, Louis quickly changed the subject back. Anyway, I've got a gig for you. Easy money and a lot of it. You in? I looked up at him. What kind of gig? Louis pulled his phone out of his pocket and showed me a photo. Seduce my brother. Turn him gay, and I'll give you $1 million. Why would he want me to turn him gay? And besides, I'm a guy too. I looked at Louis, confused. That way, he won't be able to compete with me for the family inheritance. My parents would never hand the company over to a gay man. Get it? No, I'm a poor schmuck. I have no idea how these rich kids think. But I did understand $1 million. It was enough for my mom's surgery, and I could pay off all the debt we'd accumulated over the years. Louis was always decked out in designer brands from head to toe and drove luxury cars to and from campus. Even though I couldn't recognize the brands, I could tell from the shocked and envious tones of my classmates that they were on a level I couldn't even imagine. He was always pretty cool to us roommates, never acting like a spoiled brat, so I figured he wouldn't scam me. I nodded. Okay, I'll do it. But how was I supposed to seduce his brother? I'd never even been in a relationship before. I didn't know the first thing about this stuff. Louis took me to a high-end club. It was my first time in a place like this, and I kept my head down, afraid to look around. First, Louis took me to an empty VIP room. Then he called a few people in. See them? Watch what they do and just copy it. Louis gave me my instructions, and I got ready to take mental notes. The guys who came in were wearing next to nothing, with just enough fabric to cover the essentials. They showed off their slim, pale waists, their slender legs brushing against each other. It was so steamy I thought I was going to get a nosebleed. There were also these built, dark-skinned guys with massive muscles. Louis pulled my hand over to feel the raw power of their biceps up close. My voice trembling, I quietly asked Louis, "Do I have to be like them?" Louis was pleased with my reaction. He crossed one leg casually over the other. "Do you want the money or not?" "I do." "Then do what I say." A few days later, dressed in clothes Louis had prepared for me, I was sent to a new private room. He said he wanted to dress me up to look like an innocent college boy. But I already am a college student. When we got to the room, Louis pulled me straight over to sit next to his brother. "Everyone, I'd like you to meet my classmate, Asher." The others all greeted me enthusiastically. "Asher, hey, nice to meet you." I responded quietly to each of them, "Hi, nice to meet you too." But Ryan Booth, the man right next to me, didn't say a word. Sensing my nervousness, Louis patted me on the shoulder. "Relax, they're all my friends. They won't do anything to you, okay?" His brother was sitting right beside me, and his presence was just so intense. I nervously fidgeted with the seam of my pants, trying to act calm. Then I snuck a peek at him out of the corner of my eye. Ryan had his hair slicked back. He had high brows, cool eyes, and wore a sharp, tailored suit. His long, sexy fingers were wrapped loosely around a wine glass, swirling the deep red liquid inside. I loved his fingers. How could a man have such beautiful, sexy hands? Staring at his fingers, I started to get lost in thought. "Asher, can I help you?" "Crap, I've been staring too long and got caught." Ryan turned his head slightly toward me, a look of confusion in his eyes. "No, nothing." I quickly looked away, wanting to bury my head in my lap and hide. My cheeks were inexplicably burning. Ryan had this intensely magnetic look, a great voice, and an amazing body. How could someone like him ever be seduced by a hick like me? I started to worry. Louis got up to take a call. The seat to my left was now empty, while Ryan to my right remained still as a mountain. Suddenly, a guy with a buzz cut sat down, pressing right up against me. His right hand casually landed on my thigh. "Hey kid, you're Asher, right? Have a drink with me." He handed me a colorful cocktail. I opened my mouth but didn't know how to refuse. Before we came, Louis had warned me not to accept drinks from strangers. This place was a mixed bag, full of all sorts of people, and some of them liked to slip things into drinks. But this guy looked like he had a bad temper. If I said no, would he beat me up? Suddenly, Ryan reached out and blocked the glass. He chuckled softly. "He's just a student. What's he doing drinking?" The air grew quiet. The buzz-cut guy looked pissed. A nasty scar on the side of his face made him look even more intimidating. He didn't say anything. "What are you rejecting it for him for?" His eyes, full of malice, locked onto me. "What do you say, Asher?" Ryan's expression darkened, and he pulled me into his arms. "Vince, you'd better keep that stuff of yours away from him. He's my brother's classmate, after all, which makes me responsible for him." Being this close, I could smell the faint, crisp scent of his cologne. Louis heard the commotion and hurried back to smooth things over. "It's his first time in a place like this, so let's not make him drink. If he gets drunk, I'll have to drag him back to the dorm, and that's a pain." After the guy with the buzz cut left, I quietly thanked Ryan. For some reason, he seemed to be in a really good mood. By the end of the night, I had somehow ended up drinking quite a bit anyway. I passed out on the sofa, my mind a complete blur. When I woke up, it was already noon the next day. I don't usually drink, so I had no idea the hangover would be this bad. My head was still throbbing. The surroundings were completely unfamiliar. Just then, Ryan knocked on the half-open door and walked in. "You're awake?" I nodded dumbly. "Yeah." Then it hit me. "Ryan, what are you doing here?" A slight smile touched Ryan's lips. "This is my place," he said. I realized I'd made a huge fool of myself. We must have stayed out too late last night, and the dorms were locked, so Louis must have brought me here with him. Thinking of that, I asked casually, "Where's Louis?" Ryan opened the curtains, then pulled a set of clothes out of the closet and handed them to me. "He went back to campus this morning. He told me to take good care of you and kept emphasizing how close you two are. By the way, your clothes got dirty when you threw up yesterday, so I took them off to be washed. They're not dry yet. You can wear these for now. They're mine, but they're new." I looked down and saw that my clothes had indeed been changed. I was now in a really nice set of light blue pajamas with a cute little white sheep embroidered on the pocket. "Thanks, Ryan. Sorry for all the trouble yesterday." As I took the clothes from him, my mind finally cleared completely. "Then who changed my clothes last night?" I remembered Lewis was a total germaphobe and he'd been drinking a lot, too. I didn't dare ask Ryan that question. It was too embarrassing. After I changed and washed up, I walked into the living room to find Ryan busy in the kitchen. He spotted me right away and called out, "Wash your hands and come eat." Okay. Dressed in casual clothes, Ryan's sharp, intense vibe was a lot softer. But he was still impossibly handsome. The mature, masculine aura around Ryan was even stronger now. But even with just the two of us, the atmosphere wasn't awkward. Chatting with him was easy and fun. I suddenly remembered the mission Lewis had given me. Seduce Ryan, turn him gay. $1 million. Seeing the table full of food, I asked in surprise, "Ryan, did you make all this yourself?" Ryan didn't know what I was up to, but he nodded anyway. I continued, "Wow, you're amazing. You're not just handsome, you're a great cook, too." Every dish looked and smelled delicious, so there was some real honesty in my compliment. "Your girlfriend must be so lucky." Ryan smiled back at me. "Don't be silly. I don't have a girlfriend." I put on a show of exaggerated surprise. "A great guy like you doesn't have a girlfriend? I can't believe it." Ryan was clearly holding back a laugh. After that, I suddenly felt a wave of awkwardness, unsure of what to say next. This was all stuff Lewis had taught me. I'd even looked up some guides on Reddit myself. Ryan smiled, so I must have done it right? Back at school, Lewis eagerly ran up to ask me, "So, how'd it go? Did anything happen between you and my brother?" I told him everything that had happened that day. Lewis looked at me with a "you're a lost cause" expression. "I gave you the perfect opportunity and you blew it. What am I even going to do with you?" I felt a deep sense of failure. "Lewis, maybe we should just forget it. I don't think I'm cut out for this. So long, $1 million. Lewis quickly grabbed my arm. "Hey, wait a minute, I was just kidding. Either way, you've taken the first step. I'll transfer you a little something first so you don't think I'm scamming you." A second later, a notification for a 10,000 transfer popped up on my phone. Why so much? Staring at the number of zeros after the one, my eyes were spinning. Lewis grinned broadly. "Stick with me, kid. You think I'd short you? 10,000. That was enough to get my mom admitted to the hospital and cover the first round of surgery fees. I wouldn't have to live so hand to mouth anymore." I said with genuine gratitude, "Lewis, thank you." With that money in hand, I became much more focused and proactive about the mission. I got Ryan's number from Lewis. After adding him, I started messaging him every day, following the advice I'd found online. "Hey Ryan, what are you up to today? Ryan, check out my new haircut. What do you think? Does it look good? Ryan, today I kept this up for a week," and Ryan always replied politely. But he never initiated a conversation or shared anything about his own life. I'd never pursued anyone before, so I had no idea if I was doing it right. When I went to report my progress to Lewis, he scrolled through our chat history, muttering under his breath, "Asher, you're such a blockhead. Forget it. Stop trying to reel him in like this. Just do exactly what I tell you." This weekend, Ryan is going to a private hot spring retreat up in the mountains. I'll arrange for you to get in. You just do as I say, you hear me? I nodded obediently, loud and clear. Got it with both ears. When the weekend came, Lewis drove me to the hot spring resort. After hiding me in Ryan's room, he left. I hid in the closet. I waited until it was almost dark before Ryan finally pushed the door open. I immediately rushed out and threw my arms around him. "Ryan, I like you." Ryan stood frozen, showing no reaction. I was hugging him from behind. An image of what I saw at the club that day flashed through my mind. I copied the moves I'd seen those guys do, letting my hands start to wander. The next second, my wrist was grabbed. The next thing I knew, Ryan had tossed me onto the big, soft bed. Ryan leaned over me, looking down at me from above. "Asher, who brought you here?" I bit my lip, scared, but I couldn't rat out Lewis. I came by myself." His expression was unreadable, but I could see the beginnings of anger in his eyes. "Ha, you're more resourceful than I thought." He took off his gold-rimmed glasses and started taking off his clothes. I shrank back. "Ryan, what are you doing?" Ryan narrowed his eyes at me. Isn't this what you came here for? Under the suit was a lean, muscular body, toned and sexy. I was momentarily stunned. I thought Ryan was even more beautiful than any of the male models at the club. I was only wearing a bathrobe, and with a gentle pull from Ryan, the tie came undone. He looked down at my faded, pilling boxer shorts. Ryan laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. You poor little thing. Trying to play the seducer? Do you even know the first thing about it? Do you have any idea what guys do with other guys? I shook my head frantically, my face burning with embarrassment. And no, I have no idea. I just remembered that's what the guys at the club did. During my formative years, I'd spent all my time studying. My classmates even made fun of me for being a bookworm. I knew the basic biology, but I'd never watched any videos, let alone what happened between two guys. Ryan burst out laughing. I'm just messing with you. Relax. I'm not going to force you to do anything. In the end, we really didn't do anything. Ryan retied my bathrobe for me. Come on, let's go to the hot spring. I followed behind Ryan cautiously. We got into the hot spring pool. We were the only two people there. We were both guys, but Ryan's body was amazing. Compared to him, I looked like a scrawny little chicken. Soaking in the perfectly warm water, my body and mind gradually relaxed. Looking at Ryan next to me, I couldn't help but ask, Ryan, aren't you mad? Ryan leaned back against the edge of the pool, squinting at me. What would I be mad about? Didn't you say you liked me? I have a good impression of you, too. We can give it a try. A huge wave of joy washed over me. Ryan had just said we could give it a try. Did this mean my mission was halfway complete? I grabbed his arm excitedly. Really? Ryan, when you say try, does that mean you're giving me a chance? Ryan's eyes were smiling as he asked, Are you that happy? I nodded furiously. Yes. I'm so happy. When Ryan said give it a try, he didn't just mean superficially. He meant taking care of me in every possible way. The next day, he took me straight to the mall and bought me a ton of clothes, including underwear. Seeing the astronomical prices on the tags, I was floored. $300 for a pair of underwear. Ryan, you don't have to get this. I still have a few pairs back at the dorm. I added quietly, you should just buy them for yourself. Underwear that expensive is for fancy people like him to wear. Ryan's face fell. What are we right now? He asked. Huh? Took me a second to process. I looked up at the slightly displeased Ryan. He frowned. You said you liked me, you slept half naked in my bed, and we spent a wonderful evening together. So what would you say our relationship is? I knew he was being deliberately misleading, but I couldn't argue with him. I ventured, a romantic relationship? Ryan's lips curved up again, his eyes crinkling with his smile as he continued to press me. Then who am I to you? I blurted out, my boyfriend? Ryan raised an eyebrow. Why the question mark? I immediately corrected myself. Boyfriend? You're my boyfriend. Ryan very naturally took my hand and pulled out his black card to pay. So, isn't it normal for a boyfriend to buy you some clothes? Besides, that pair you're wearing is falling apart. We're throwing them out when we get back. Oh, okay. My gaze was involuntarily drawn to Ryan's hand. I thought his hands were beautiful the first time I saw them, and now one was holding mine. Our fingers were intertwined. I felt a little self-conscious under the saleswoman's gaze. After all, we were two guys holding hands in broad daylight. Felt a little awkward. Just as I tried to quietly slip my hand away, Ryan tightened his grip. A firm, possessive hold on my hand. Let's go, boyfriend. As soon as we walked out of the store, the saleswoman whipped out her phone. She started typing furiously in the company gossip chat. OMG, you guys. I think I just saw the CEO with his boyfriend. The CEO is so hot, and his boyfriend is adorable. Like a sweet, innocent type. Whoa. The Eternal Bachelor is finally off the market. So that's the type our boss is into. No wonder they always said he wasn't interested in women. He's interested in men. And get this, I think our boss was the one doing the chasing. Every day after class, Ryan would pick me up for dinner and a date. He took me to all these places I never would have dared to set foot in before. I felt like a total country mouse in the city for the first time, and I made a fool of myself more than once. But Ryan never showed a hint of disdain. He was a perfect gentleman, always saving me from my own awkwardness. Was Ryan really straight? I felt like I hadn't done anything, and he had just bent himself into a pretzel all on his own. The way he treated me was completely beyond my imagination. Asher, how's it going? What base are you at with my brother? Lewis would ask me for a progress report every day. I said, I think we're getting there, although we'd only gotten as far as holding hands. Lewis frowned. You haven't even kissed, let alone slept together? I nodded innocently. Lewis's eyes widened, and he muttered under his breath, that guy has some serious self-control. He's got a meal served up on a platter and he's not eating. I didn't quite hear him, so I asked, what? Lewis brushed it off. Nothing. Thinking about everything that had happened, I voiced the biggest question on my mind. Lewis, you and Ryan seem to get along really well. Does this mission still need to continue? Lewis put his hands on his hips. Of course it does. That's all for show. Okay? We act like best buds on the surface, but behind the scenes we're always fighting for the inheritance. Anyway, it's just rich people drama. You wouldn't get it. Okay, I really didn't get it. Their relationship looked perfectly fine to me. I asked another question that had been bugging me. Are you sure I'm the one who turned Ryan gay? I get the feeling he wasn't exactly straight to begin with. When girls on the street asked for his number, Ryan would politely refuse and tell them he was gay. He was also way too good to me, spending a fortune on me. And all I did was bring him breakfast a few times and give him a few cheap gifts. Lewis patted me on the back reassuringly. Don't worry about all that. As long as the end result is that he's gay, that's all that matters. You keep at it. Try to hit a home run soon, and I'll transfer you even more. Lewis was a man of his word. Money kept flowing into my account. In just one short month, my bank account had grown significantly. But somehow I didn't feel as happy anymore. My conscience was starting to bother me. When my mom had her surgery, I took some time off to go back home. My dad died when I was young, so my mom raised my sister and me all by herself. Now that she was sick and my sister was still in middle school, there was no one at home to take care of her. When I entered the hospital room, I saw my mom lying there, looking incredibly weak, her hair almost completely white. On the bedside table sat a bunch of bananas covered in black spots and a few shriveled apples. A bag of toiletries was messily piled in the corner. My mom's face lit up when she saw me. Asher, why are you back? You should be at school studying. Mom's little illness is no big deal. I walked over and threw the fruit straight into the trash can. I could tell she'd bought them from the discount section at the supermarket. Mom, how many times have I told you not to be so frugal? This fruit has gone bad, you can't eat it. I'm making good money at my part-time job now, and I get scholarships. Plus, my boss is a really great guy, super generous, so you don't have to worry about money. All the money Lewis had transferred to me, I had sent to my mom's account. Suddenly, I thought of Ryan. I had left in such a hurry that I forgot to tell him. Usually, he'd be off work by now and would come to the school gate to pick me up for dinner. I quickly pulled out my phone to send him a message. Ryan, something came up at home, so I had to go back to my hometown for a few days. Just letting you know so you don't make a trip to campus for nothing. A second later, my phone was ringing. It was Ryan. I waited until my mom was almost asleep before I quietly got up and went out into the hallway to answer. Ryan, Asher, is everything okay at home? Do you need me to come over? It was quiet on Ryan's end. He was probably still at the office. I said softly, it's nothing serious. My mom just needs surgery, so I took a few days off to come take care of her. Okay. Let me know if you need anything. I will. Asher, how many days did you take off? About 5, I think. Does that mean I won't get to see you for 5 days? I'll come back and find you as soon as I'm done here. Okay? We chatted for a few more minutes. When I heard someone on his end looking for him, we hung up. As soon as I turned around from the call, I saw a sneaky figure standing there, watching me. My little sister, Annie, was back from school. She ran over, a mischievous glint in her eye. Bro, who were you on the phone with? Was that your girlfriend? Is she pretty? Can you bring her home so I can meet her? I took her backpack and headed back into the room. Stay out of adult business. What does a little kid like, you know? Annie shot back. What do you mean, what do I know? You've definitely got a girlfriend. All the kids in my class who got caught dating early make the exact same face you were just making. Annie had always been a ball of energy, like a little spinning top with a perpetual motion machine inside, bouncing around tirelessly every day. Don't you go copying them. You're too young to be dating. I know. Annie groaned. Bro, let me tell you about what happened at school. Around 11, I finally managed to get Annie to wind down and sent her back to her school dorm. I stayed at the hospital to be with my mom. I was dozing off when a sudden jolt woke me up. And that's when I saw Ryan standing in the doorway. I ran out excitedly. Ryan, what are you doing here? Ryan pulled me into a one-armed hug. I didn't want to go 5 days without seeing you, so I took a red-eye flight over. I brought you a late-night snack. In his other hand, Ryan was holding a container of mini wontons from my favorite spot. I had only mentioned it to him once, but he'd remembered. A warm feeling slowly filled my heart. I looked up at Ryan, and I was overcome with the urge to kiss him. In the end, all that came out was, Ryan, thank you. Ryan had my mom moved to a private VIP room, hired 2 nurses to look after her, and arranged for a top specialist to perform her surgery. Watching everything Ryan was doing for me, I was suddenly flooded with guilt. Ryan was so good to me, dropping a multi-million-dollar project just to be here with me. And here I was, having turned him gay for money. I could feel the affection for him blossoming in my heart, growing so much it was about to overflow. But it was mixed with a sense of inferiority, a feeling that I didn't deserve him. A golden boy like Ryan and a nobody like me were destined to be from 2 different worlds, especially a liar like me who had gotten close to him with an ulterior motive. I was even more afraid that I was the one who had turned him gay, that I had led him down this wrong path. Asher, what are you spacing out for? Noticing I was lost in thought, Ryan looked over at me. I shook my head. It's nothing. I'm just so grateful you came to be with me and did all this for me. Ryan retorted, isn't that what a boyfriend is supposed to do? Ryan always used that excuse to do so many things for me. Ryan, if you found out one day that I had lied to you, a lie that wasn't too serious, what would you do? Would you still be this good to me? Ryan tapped my forehead with his finger. You idiot. Sometimes I want to crack open that skull of yours and see what's going on inside. You said it wasn't a serious lie, so of course I wouldn't do anything to you. But I might be a little mad. Then I'd probably just get you into bed and fuck you until I wasn't mad anymore. That would fix it. That wasn't the answer I wanted. After I got back to school, I started avoiding Ryan. When he asked me out, I used studying for finals as an excuse and turned him down several times. Ryan's work was demanding, but he still sent me voice messages and called me every day. Don't study too hard. I ordered you takeout and bubble tea. Make sure you go pick it up when it's time to eat. Babe, I miss you so much. Babe, do you have time to meet up today? He even sent a sad puppy meme. I replied coldly, sorry. I'm really busy these days. I knew this smart, beautiful upperclassman from a club event. She had accidentally seen me with Ryan and had privately asked me about him. Now, the thought of introducing her to Ryan actually crossed my mind. If he met someone better, would Ryan realize he actually likes girls? It felt like if he went back to being straight, my conscience would be clear. But then there was Louis. I felt equally guilty about him, since he'd given me so much money. Louis cornered me in our dorm room. Asher, what's up with you lately? You've been so out of it. I was exhausted, mentally and physically, but I couldn't let it show, so I just lied. I'm just tired from studying. It's fine, I'll be okay in a little while. Louis dropped a huge bag of snacks, fruit, and vitamins on my desk, emphasizing, make sure you go see my brother when you're done studying, okay? I've seen him by himself a lot lately. Don't forget the mission the organization assigned you. And you don't have to study so hard. You already know all this stuff anyway, what are you worried about? I really wanted to say, Louis, can I give up on this mission? But I had already spent all the money. My mom's illness was cured, and my family's debts were paid off. I had no right to ask. All I could do was nod and agree. Okay, I will. That night, I couldn't sleep again. Ryan's face and everything I had done to him played over and over in my mind. 2 little figures were locked in a silent battle inside my head. Late at night, I came across a post about how to break up gracefully. The post said to do it slowly, that time heals everything. A sudden breakup might cause a backlash, because hate is a more powerful emotion than love. I decided to follow the advice in the post and slowly make Ryan lose interest in me. Walking past a department store, I saw a tie in a really beautiful color. It was expensive, half a year's salary from my part-time jobs. But it would look perfect on Ryan. In the end, I gritted my teeth and bought it. I'd been cold to Ryan lately. I owed him some compensation. It was the best I could afford, but it would be the cheapest tie Ryan owned. Tomorrow was his birthday. Someone with his status would probably be busy late into the night, and I happened to have final exams all day. I took the little cake I'd made and the gift and got a taxi to his place. I was planning to surprise him. When I got to his underground parking garage, his car was just pulling in. I was about to go up and say hi when Louis and Ryan got out of the car together. They didn't see me. I was standing behind a pillar that blocked their view. I heard Louis say jokingly, "Bro, haven't you sealed the deal with your sister-in-law yet?" My performance was pretty good, right? Ryan laughed and replied, "It was pretty good." Louis continued, "So, bro, about that thing you promised me." Ryan said, "Once your sister-in-law marries into the family, I'll set it up immediately." A second later, I got a text from Louis. "Another $1 million to marry my brother. By the way, he's into maid play. Asher, reply when you get this. Also attached 100 tips on my brother's kinks. Hee. Feel free to ask if you don't understand something." I stood there, watching the two of them walk toward the elevator, laughing and talking. I understood every word they said. But put together, I didn't understand at all. So from the very beginning, I was the one being hunted. My feelings were a mess. This feeling of being deceived wasn't pleasant, even if it hadn't led to any terrible consequences for me. In fact, it had even given me the chance to get my mom the treatment she needed. When I got back to my dorm in a daze, I realized I must have left the cake and tie in Ryan's underground parking garage. Whatever. It's not like he needed them. I told myself, "Asher, what's wrong? Did you lose some money?" My roommate saw the state I was in and rushed over to ask what was wrong. I forced a bitter smile. "I'm fine. I was just tired from studying today and decided to go for a walk." After 2 minutes in the dorm, I went out again. As dusk fell, I headed toward the lake on campus, a good spot for watching the sunset. When Louis got back to the dorm and didn't see me, he asked our roommate. Our roommate looked confused. "Didn't he go to meet up with you guys? I think he even brought a cake he made or something." But when he came back, he was really quiet. I asked him what happened, but he didn't say anything. Louis immediately thought of the cake next to the trash can by the elevator. On his way back, he'd even wondered who would just leave a cake in a parking garage. Louis immediately called Ryan. "Bro, we're screwed. Asher knows. He was just here. He must have heard us talking. And the cake. He made it for you himself. You have to get it back and the gift too." When Louis found me, I was sitting by the lake, enjoying the evening breeze. He started shouting from a distance, "Asher, stay right there. Don't do anything stupid." Wait, did he think I was going to jump in the lake and kill myself? When he got closer, Louis grabbed me and pulled me onto the nearby path. Once he was sure I was safe, he loosened his grip. 5 bright red fingerprints were left on my arm. Louis panted, "Asher, you heard what we said, didn't you? I'm sorry, it's our fault. I shouldn't have kept it from you. I'll get my brother to confess everything to you right now. If you're going to hit someone, hit him. Don't do anything drastic. It was all his stupid idea, and he's the one who took advantage of you. Just hit him. Don't hold back." Just then, Ryan arrived. He had run so fast that his hair was a mess, with stray strands flying everywhere. Louis immediately pushed Ryan in front of me and hid behind him. "Go ahead and hit him, Asher. Just not the face. He has his birthday party tomorrow. Anywhere else is fair game. If that's not enough, I guess I can take a few hits too." Under their nervous gazes, I frowned. Why would I hit him? Ryan's hands were trembling. "You're not mad?" I said calmly, "I am. And I don't plan on forgiving you." The relief Louis was about to feel shot back up into his throat. "Asher, what do we have to do for you to forgive us?" I promise I'll never lie to you again. Ryan copied Lewis, childishly holding up 3 fingers. Me too. Seeing that, I had to struggle to keep from laughing. I want an explanation. 5 minutes later, I understood the whole story. And I learned about Ryan's love at first sight. On the first day of school, Lewis had posted a photo of the 4 of us roommates on his social feed. Later, he would occasionally post other pictures, some of which included me. It was through those photos that Ryan had become interested in me. When he came to campus and saw me in person, it was love at first sight. So he asked Lewis to help him pursue me. And when I secretly sold the watch Lewis gave me, he realized I was desperate for money and came up with the plan to pay me to turn Ryan gay. It had all been planned from the start. I turned to Lewis and said, "From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Because of you, I had the chance to get my mom the treatment she needed. You kept me from losing another family member. And because of you, I met the person I love." Lewis waved his hand dismissively. "It was nothing. You're welcome." The next second, his face changed. "Wait, Asher, what are you thanking me for?" I smiled. "Don't worry, I'm really not mad at you. It'd be even better if you bought me breakfast for a semester." Lewis let out a sigh of relief. "You got it." Meanwhile, Ryan stood beside us, holding his breath, nervously awaiting his sentence. In the little file Lewis sent me, there was one item I quite liked. Actually, I'm into maid play too. What do you think, Ryan? From the first time I met him, I thought Ryan was incredibly handsome and had a great body. Now, if he were to wear the outfit Lewis sent, it would be a perfect match. That night, Ryan put on the maid outfit. He wore the fluffy ears and a collar with a little bell around his neck. The tips of his ears were bright red, as if they were about to bleed. He called my name in a hoarse voice, "Asher." I looked at him like a little hoodlum. "Ryan, you look so beautiful." What followed was an inevitable series of adult events. But why? Ryan was supposed to be the one getting punished, so how did I end up being the one who suffered the most? I finally understood what Ryan had said that day. There are so many things guys can do with other guys. We have a whole lifetime to explore them. The cake I'd forgotten in the parking garage had been retrieved by Ryan and carefully placed in the fridge. At the stroke of midnight, fireworks lit up the sky outside the window. I brought the cake over to him. "Ryan, happy birthday. Make a wish." Ryan closed his eyes and made a silent wish. "I hope Asher will be safe and happy for the rest of his life. I hope he'll love me forever." Looking at Ryan's handsome profile, I couldn't help but lean in and kiss him. Even though I'm usually a bit dense, and my classmates say I'm introverted and dull, that doesn't mean I'll just let people push me around. But since they're people I care about, I'll let it slide. And I got to mess with them a little bit today, too. I guess that makes us even. Actually, I also let out a secret sigh of relief. I was just so glad that Ryan wasn't gay because of me. Now I could finally be with him without any guilt.